Hello, and thank you for watching Jason Adam TV on Blued, YouTube, and American Teacher on YouTube. If you haven't, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you're watching on Blued, if you want to see the flashcards for the English lesson, you can go to our main channel on Jason Adam TV on YouTube. Okay, today's English lesson is about kitchen utensils. Okay, well, an apron's not really a utensil, but it is something you do use in the kitchen. Okay, so let me blow it up and bring it into focus here. So the first word is apron. Apron. An apron is something you hang over your neck and you tie in the back, and it prevents your clothing from getting splattered by grease or hot water as you're cooking. So it's like a protective clothing for cooking. Some people also wear aprons when they are painting to prevent paint from getting on their clothes. Apron. If you have any questions during the lesson, please let me know, and I will check and answer them during the live stream. Okay, the next item that's used in the kitchen is a bread basket. Bread basket. Now, in the old days, we used to have something called a bread box. It was basically a box that you kept your loaf of bread inside. But a bread basket is mainly for baked bread. Bread that's already been, well, loaf bread has already been baked, but usually a bread basket is for small pieces of bread like croissants or rolls, dinner rolls that we put inside the bread basket. Usually it's lined with a cloth. Bread basket. Some parts of America, like the Midwest, are referred to as the Northwest are referred to as the bread basket of America, because they produce most of the grain that's used to make bread. So if you hear someone talking about the bread basket of America, they're talking about the states where most of the grain for bread is grown. Thank you for watching Jason Adam TV on Blued, Jason Adam TV on YouTube, and also American Teacher on YouTube.
Selena Young left some messages. Did you see it? No, you can see it on your iPad.
Oh, it's...
Say hi.
Hello, thank you for your message, Selena, and thank you for watching Jason Adam TV. If you have any English questions, yeah, it just popped up now. I just saw it. My feed is a little bit delayed. So if you have any questions during the live stream, please ask me. This is an English lesson teaching vocabulary for items that are used in the kitchen.
Or if you want to chat, have some chit chat.
Yeah, if you want to talk about anything, just leave us a message. Hi, Alan on Blued. Thank you for watching. Okay, the next item that is used in a kitchen is a bowl. 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 So the L is pronounced, but very slightly on the end there.
Yeah, I think most of the Chinese students have a problem pronouncing L.
Bowl.
Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah, the L is there on the end, but is not that noticeable. Bowl. So a bowl is a concave shaped dish. That means it has a depression in the middle and sides that are higher, and it is in the shape of a circle. Of course, we use bowls mainly for soups, and in America we use bowls to eat breakfast cereal. Now, breakfast cereal is not so popular in Taiwan, but many people eat breakfast cereal
I remember
in the morning in the U.S.
I remember when I just met you 20 years ago at school, you used to drink a lot of milk with cereal with tray now instead of bowl. You use
A tray.
Yeah.
I used a tray for cereal?
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that.
I think the difference between tray and the bowl is that there's no ring under the oval shape.
Well, a bowl is always round shaped.
And the bottom of the bowl is a ring.
No, the bottom
Circle.
is not called the rim. The top,
How do you call the bottom of the bowl?
I just call it the bottom.
But some tray doesn't have this part or the bottom part.
Well,
It's
yeah.
flat. Totally
Yeah,
flat.
bowls have a flat bottom, of course, or they would spill your soup all over the
Yeah.
table.
No, I think it's a heat insulation because if you don't have the rim there, you will burn your finger. You will burn your finger.
That could be. The ring at the bottom of the bowl could be to protect your fingers when you're picking up a hot bowl of soup. That's possible. But the rim is the top edge that goes around the top of the bowl. That is the rim. Hello, Telly Leung on Blued. Thank you for watching. For everyone who's watching Jason Adam TV on Blued, YouTube, or American Teacher on YouTube, please leave a message and we will respond to you during the live stream. So the next kitchen item that we're talking about today is called a teapot. Teapot. And this is a pot that is used for brewing and serving tea. So usually we boil the water in the teapot and we add some bags of tea to steep in the water, in the hot water. So that process is called steeping. And sometimes it's also called brewing, B-R-E-W-I-N-G. Steep is spelled S-T-E-E-P. It's the process of soaking something such as tea leaves in a hot liquid, like water, to make tea. And notice the teapot has a curved...
Steep also means very sharp, slope.
Oh yes, steep could be an adjective used to describe
Something very...
a slope on a mountain with a high angle. Right. But in this case, steep is a verb and means to soak tea leaves in hot water.
And brew also means to contemplate something. For example, you have to go through deep thought, thinking twice.
Right.
For example, you brew on something.
Right. So brew can also mean to think deeply about something. To think deeply. Okay, notice the teapot has a curved spot with a hole in the end. A curved projection with a hole in the end. This is used to pour the tea from. It's called a spout. Spout. So the part that the tea comes out of is called a spout. S-P-O-U-T. And the top cover is called a lid. Lid. L-I-D. And the part you hold on to is called the handle. H-A-N-D-L-E. Handle. Okay, let's go on to the next word. If you have any questions, please leave them during the live stream and I will answer them. Thank you for watching Jason Adam TV on Blued, YouTube, and American Teacher on YouTube. If you want to see the flashcards, please check out our main channel on Jason Adam TV YouTube. Okay, the next word in our English lesson is measuring cup. Measuring cup.
Can you show them behind you? kind of screen?
Okay, so this.
No. The real one you use for your whiskey.
Oh, to measure out things. Well, not just measuring out whiskey, I use it to measure out other things too. So this is a measuring cup.
Yeah, Adam like to drink whiskey, and they use that measuring cup to measure, how much amount of whiskey you should drink.
So
7 people watch. You say hi to them.
Hello, thank you for watching Jason Adam TV and American Teacher on YouTube, and also Jason Adam TV on Blued. Hello, how on Blued. So a measuring cup is graduated. That distinguishes it from other cups. If by graduated I mean it has markings at certain intervals on the side. It has markings on certain intervals on the side. Graduated.
Graduate. Could graduate.
And that's so you can measure the liquid. Most measuring cups have imperial and metric measurements on them. Imperial, of course, is the measurement system used by the US, and the metric system is used by most other countries around the world. Measuring cup.
How about the pointed part of the...
Right, I was just about to talk about that. The pointed part on the rim of the measuring cup, this part, is also called a spout. It's also
spout, S-P-O-U-T, spout.
Right.
注水口.
It's a place to pour the liquid from. Spout.
注水口. S-P-O-U-T, spout.
Right. And the measuring cup also has a handle to hold on to. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask me during the live stream and I'll try to answer them. Okay, let's go to the next vocabulary word.
When you say graduate is also called graduate or graduation of scale.
Well, we say that it is graduated. That's the adjective.
Oh, graduated.
Meaning that it has markings at certain intervals. Okay, so the next...
Also mean that you graduate from school.
Yes.
I just make joke.
Okay.
Oh, Ben said, can you read it?
Oh, Ben asks on our YouTube channel, does tomorrow at 3 p.m. work for you? Is it correct? Yes, Ben, that is correct, but of course it needs to be said in a certain context. Like if you're setting up a meeting with someone, you would say, let's have a meeting. Does tomorrow 3 p.m. work for you? And that would be correct. You could also say, yes. You could also say, is 3 p.m. tomorrow okay for you? That has the same meaning as does tomorrow 3 p.m. work for you. It's does tomorrow 3 p.m. work for you is a little less polite, a little less formal, more informal.
Yeah, because okay doesn't sound too formal. Yeah.
Are you okay with 3 p.m. tomorrow is also acceptable, but again, it is very informal.
Instead, I guess you can say, are you available?
Right, that would be more formal, Ben. You could say, are you available at 3 p.m. tomorrow? Are you okay with 3 p.m. tomorrow is okay, but it's very informal. And finally, Ben asked, is 3 p.m. tomorrow suitable to you? Yes, you could say that. That is very formal. Is 3 p.m. tomorrow suitable to you? Usually we would say suitable for you.
And also be careful with the word available, because if you put it in the wrong context, for example, if you just simply ask someone, are you available? Just mean that if he or she is single or not.
Right. If you ask someone if they're available out of context, if you just say, are you available? It can also mean, are you single? Or do you have a boyfriend?
Also,
Ben,
by the way, there is a very important word called partner. You don't, when you describe someone next to you as your partner, instead of in a company.
well, yeah, of course, partner has different meanings. A partner could be a business partner, or they could be your life partner. It all depends on the context that
Yep.
you use.
Usually, it can be referred to same-sex spouse.
Ben, I would say, in your last question, I would say, does 3 p.m. tomorrow suit you? Because you are asking the person if it's suitable for them now. You're asking their opinion now. So I would use present simple.
There's a very formal phrase called preferable.
Preferable.
Yeah, preferable. You can say, is 3 p.m. tomorrow preferable to you, for you?
Well, that kind of leaves the door open for them to set their own time. If you want to suggest a time, I wouldn't, and you want them to use your preferred time, then I wouldn't use the word preferable, because that implies that they have more choice, more freedom to choose the time for the meeting. If you ask them, is 3 p.m. preferable?
I think Ben also asked, so will 3 p.m. tomorrow suit you? I think if I were you, I would say would.
Well, I would use does, and the reason it being, Ben, the reason I would pick does, present simple, is because you are asking this person their opinion
To confirm, yeah.
at the present time. Okay, Ben said understood. Many thanks.
You are very welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ben, for watching Jason Adam TV on YouTube. If anyone else has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them during the live stream.
各位 Blue 的还有 YouTube 上面的朋友们如果你们没有办法用英文问问题，也可以用中文询问我们可以帮你们回答，都可以帮你们回答。OK 请不要客气don't hesitate to post your questions, anytime.
Okay, the next term in our kitchen utensil lesson is baking tray. Baking tray, actually, I think they've kind of confused baking tray. I'm not so sure. I always thought a baking tray was a metal pan, but maybe I'm thinking about baking sheet. In English, when a recipe calls for a baking sheet, they're talking about a flat rectangular pan that's very shallow, is not very deep, and it's used to bake things like scones or American biscuits on in the oven. That's called a baking sheet.
SHEET?
Yes,
Okay.
baking sheet. And in this picture, they show a baking tray as a shallow box for holding goods that are already baked. Baking tray.
Besides, when you bake something, you have to use soda or yeast.
Baking powder, yeah, baking powder or yeast for it to rise, unless you're using self-rising flour. So there are two types of flour. Self-rising already has the leavening agent inside. A leavening agent is something that causes the bread to rise when it's exposed to heat in the oven. It causes the dough to rise. That's called a leavening agent. Leavening agent. agent. And then there's AP, or all-purpose flour. That's the second type of flour, and it does not have a leavening agent. Sometimes you don't need a leavening agent. Like if you're making naan, a flatbread, you don't need it to rise. Then you wouldn't need a leavening agent. So you wouldn't need self-rising flour. And of course you can add leavening agents like yeast to AP flour, all-purpose flour, to make it rise.
Leavening, L-E-V-E-L-I-N-G.
Leavening, Leavening.
Leaving.
Right.
Alright. Okay, leaving leavening 叫做蓬松剂 expand the dough. Yeah.
Okay.
Leavening.
So we talked about baking tray. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask them during the live stream, and I'll try to answer them. The next word is timer. Now, timers are used in many places, not just in the kitchen. But in the kitchen, a timer is used to set the time for the cooking, the period of time that the food needs to cook. Timer.
Ben posed another question.
Okay. Let's see. Ben asked, I will rush or chase or push the supplier to deliver goods ASAP. If you're talking to your client, I would say, I will push the supplier to deliver the goods ASAP. Push. You could also say, I will rush the supplier. You can rush someone or push someone. Rush means to encourage someone to work more quickly, and push means to put more pressure on someone. But I would not use chase. Chase means to run after someone and try to catch them. So chase would not
How
be
to share your link?
appropriate. I'm sorry?
How? Share the link.
How? Thank you for sharing our link. Okay, so
Also, ASAP is not that polite. Usually in business terms, we use as soon as possible or at your earliest convenience.
that's more formal, but I have seen ASAP before in business. It's less formal, but I have seen it before. Okay, thank you, Ben, for your question. All right, getting back to our lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll try to answer them. So a timer is different from a stopwatch. A stopwatch counts the amount of time elapsed or the amount of time that has passed. A timer counts down from a certain point and then gives an alarm when the time is finished. So let's say if you are cooking a frozen pizza, you would preheat the oven first, set it to the right temperature, and wait until the oven light turns off. Then you would put your pizza in the oven and set a timer for about 10 or 12 minutes, depending on what temperature you set the oven for. And then when the timer rings or alarms or goes off, you can take your pizza out of the oven and it will be finished. Timer. Some ovens have a timer built in. Okay, the next is spice containers. Now, spice container is not what they are commonly called, especially for pepper and salt, the most common spices. We call them shakers in America. So this would be a salt and pepper shaker set, or a set of salt and pepper shakers. But technically they are spice containers. A container is just anything that holds a material inside, like a jar or, in this case, a shaker. And the reason it's called a shaker is because you have to shake it to get the spice to come out. Okay, I was just thinking, sometimes like at Costco and some other supermarkets, you can get spices that are not ground. They are not in powder form. You have to grind them yourself. That is called a mill, M-I-L-L. And most commonly they sell pepper mills. So it has peppercorns inside, and you have to turn a handle or turn the top to chop up the peppercorns.
You mean grind?
Yeah, grind the peppercorns, not chop up. Thank you. The difference between chopping and grinding is the size of the particles after you finish. When you grind something, the particles of the material are much smaller than when you chop something.
How about mince? M-I-N-C-E.
Well, mince is smaller than chop, but bigger than grind.
OK， 就是切比较小，细一点叫做 mince， 你切比较大块叫 chop or cut。那你把它磨成比较小的粉叫做 grind or mill。
Okay, cut is very vague. It can mean chopping, mincing,
slicing.
Yeah, slicing. There are many different ways to cut things.
像切丁就要说 dice, D-I-C-E， 切片叫 slice, S-L-I-C-E。
That's another lesson entirely.
Yeah. Okay.
The different ways to cut foods. We could make a whole lesson out of that.
Let's move on.
Okay, the next term is chopping board. Chopping board. Or you could call it cutting board. Cutting board. And this is the flat rectangular piece of wood or plastic that you use to cut foods on, like vegetables. Chopping board. Alright, if you have any questions, please let me know during the live stream and I'll try to answer them. I have to remember to keep looking at my YouTube feed, but Jason also has one.
If there's a feed.
A question, okay. Alright, the next term is grater. Grater. My mom used to call this a knuckle buster because because if you're not careful,
it sounds so scary though.
If you're not careful, you can scrape your knuckles on the grater and cut them. So you have to be careful when using a grater.
Knuckle 就是你的手指节哈，然后那个 buster 就是破坏，所以就是他妈妈也很风趣哈。的妈妈已经去世了，在前2年她常常有一些非常让人莞尔的一些俚语这个 grater 又叫做 knuckle buster。OK，All right, Ben.
Ben had another question. He said if you're on the carbon copy or CC list, CC stands for carbon copy, and there's also BCC, which stands for blind carbon copy. When you're emailing someone, so if you CC someone, you send them a copy of an email that you are sending, and if you BCC someone, you send them a copy, but your original recipient doesn't know that you've sent a copy to someone else.
So B stands for blind.
Hello, Fa Fa Fa. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Okay, to answer your question, Ben, he asked, what would you write if you are on a CC list and you want to say something in the email correspondence? Would you say, sorry to step in, sorry to interrupt, or sorry to chime in? Well, I would not say sorry to chime in. Usually it sounds odd because usually you say that someone else chimed in, you don't say that you are chiming in. So we usually use it to describe when someone else steps into a conversation. You could say sorry to interrupt, sorry to step in, but that's not as common. So I would choose sorry to interrupt. That would be the most common one.
Sorry to butt in.
Sorry to butt in is very informal. I wouldn't use that one in a business email.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your question. If you have any questions, please let me know during the live stream and I'll try to answer them. Okay, so a grater is used to grate usually cheese or vegetables. You rub the cheese or vegetable against the side and it cuts it into thin strips. And that process is called grating. Grating. We also say if someone is grating on our nerves, it means they are annoying us. They are annoying.
I think the slang originated in from the fireplace. You use the grate, like making that grating sound.
Or yeah, rubbing up against metal makes an annoying sound. Ben had another question. He asked if sorry to jump in would be okay. Ben, in a business email, I would say it's a little bit too informal.
Just say interrupt.
Yeah, you could say sorry to interrupt, but sorry to jump in is a bit informal, I think, for a business correspondence, business email.
各位在观看的朋友们，很欢迎你们发表任何英文的问题，我们可以及时帮你们回答。我们呢，我们只有在我们发问的期间只开放在直播的时刻。那直播之后呢，我们就因为工作关系没有那么多时间，所以来回答你们的问题，所以我们统一在每天直播的时候来直接回答，这样比较及时，也比较有互动Okay, he said great on our nerve is informal or formal usage. I think it's just a slang, you know.
Yeah, it's informal. It is an informal idiom. It means that someone is annoying us. If someone grates on our nerves. And I'm sorry, Ben. What did you mean? Oh, you were correcting an informal usage, right? Before vowel sounds, you should use an.
Yeah, 就是在母音前必须要用 an， 它 the 要念成 v。OK， 还有就是有一些你看起来好像是子音在前面的，那实际上它在发音的时候是以母音的形式，你要用 an， like a young boy. You don't say an young boy.
Right, and it's tricky because some words that begin with a consonant we use an in front of the article an, like our. Our starts with the letter H, but it doesn't start with that sound. The H is silent. It starts with the short O vowel sound, ow, or OU, the diphthong. So since it starts with a vowel sound, we use an before our. Okay, getting back to our English lesson, you're welcome to ask any questions during our live stream. Alan on Blue asked, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. I just had a couple of classes, tutoring classes today, and I did a video for YouTube, a recorded video, and now I'm doing a live stream. Thank you for asking, and thank you for watching.
Addie, say hi.
Hello, Addie. Thank you for watching. Okay, getting back to our English lesson. Pie plate. A pie plate is a dish that is used to carry a pie on. Usually it's not too deep, it's shallow, and it has handles on the side to carry the pie with. Addie asked where you stay in Taiwan. Where do I stay in Taiwan? I stay in Hsinchu City, in northwestern Taiwan.
2 包 of mine.
I'm sorry, Alan, I don't understand your second sentence. Oh, it's not really a sentence. Tube out of my. If you could, rephrase it and try again. Okay, thank you for watching it, Jason Adam TV and American Teacher. If you have any questions, please ask during the live stream. Addie asked, are you a teacher? Yes, I am. I've taught children and adults both in Taiwan. Sam?
He's not, he say, are you Taiwanese?
No, I'm not Taiwanese. I have a permanent resident visa, but I'm not Taiwanese.
Adam Teacher is an American.
Hello, Sam on Blue. Thank you for watching.
他是美国人。
Addie asked, where are you from? Originally, I've lived in Taiwan for quite a while, but I'm originally from Tennessee in the United States.
Anyway, it's nice to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching. So feel free to ask me any questions during the lesson. I'll try to answer them.
right, well, let's just have fun, okay?
Okay, so we talked about pie plates. So a pie plate is used to carry the pie after it's already been baked. So Addie is from Indonesia. Thank you for answering my question.
It seems we got a lot of viewers from Indonesia.
Yeah, we have several viewers from Indonesia. Thank you for watching.
The comic it's not good, in Indonesia. We just wish you all well.
What's going on in Indonesia?
COVID.
Oh, COVID. Yeah, COVID. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you're not suffering from the COVID outbreak. Okay, the next English term that I'm teaching today is a salad spinner. Now, the picture doesn't really show a salad spinner. A salad spinner is a device it's like a bowl, and it has a rotating colander inside. And you put the salad inside and with some water, and you spin the salad inside. And it's kind of like I guess like a car wash for salad. I've never used a salad spinner before.
It's kind of small.
Okay, Addie said, what is my opinion about Indonesian? Addie, I really haven't met a lot of Indonesians. I've met a few Filipinos. The problem is I teach English mostly to Taiwan students most of the time, and I don't get out much. I'm kind of a homebody. I like to stay at home a lot. So I don't have a chance to talk to a lot of Indonesian people. But I think from what I've seen that they're very friendly and kind people. Okay, Xiao, I can't read the other Chinese characters, said that I do speak a little Indonesian. Alright, so maybe you and Addie can converse in Indonesian. Okay, Daniel, thank you for giving an English name.
Alright, here's a picture.
Addie says that he's working and staying in Taiwan right now. Okay, welcome to Taiwan. I don't know how long you've been here. You might have been here a long time. So what do you think about Taiwan? All right, while Addie is answering my question, I'd like to show you an image of a salad spinner. Let me see if I can get it in focus on the camera there. It's showing in focus on the Samsung phone.
It's very clear.
And on YouTube. Now it's in focus on the Asus phone. Okay, so a salad spinner has a lid with a handle on top, and it has a colander inside that spins around when you turn the handle on top. Oh, Addie's been here 4 years. Wow.
Wow, that's a long time.
Not as long as me. I've been here since 2002. A long, long time. Yeah, it separates you're right, it separates the water from a salad spinner separates the water from the salad. Yeah. Thank you. I'm not much of a chef. I haven't used a salad spinner before.
Process of using a salad spinner.
Okay, so this picture shows someone using the handle on a salad spinner to spin the salad around. Okay, Addie said he stays in Kaohsiung. I've never lived there. I've always stayed in Hsinchu, but I have traveled to Kaohsiung before. Oh yeah, yeah, we've gotten quite a bit of rain. Have you seen a lot of rain in Kaohsiung? Okay, Durio asked a question. He asked, is it a food mixer or a food processor? A salad spinner is neither one. A mixer mixes food together, or it mixes two or more types of foods or liquids together. A food processor chops up the food, cuts the food. It has spinning blades. A salad spinner doesn't have blades or knives inside, and it doesn't really mix the salad, I don't think. It just spins it around and separates the water from the salad. Okay, Daniel said it rains a lot in Taichung. Thank you, Daniel. You know, I don't complain much about rain ever since our drought earlier this year, because
I don't want to expect that again.
I don't want to go to 2 days without water. We got lucky in Shinju. We got right down to the wire. We almost had to ration water, but we never had to in Shinju, as far as I know. But I know Taichung had to ration water, and other parts of Taiwan had to ration water. Okay, let's get to the next picture in our kitchen item lesson here. Colander. A colander is a bowl with holes in it, and we use it to strain the water usually from noodles, but also other foods. So you pour the noodles into the colander and the water falls through the holes, but the noodles don't. So we use the colander to strain the water from noodles usually. Okay, Ben had a question. How do you pronounce Amazon, Yahoo, YouTube, YouTuber, Samsung, Louis Vuitton, and Costco in English?
Let me repeat it. Louis Vuitton, right?
Well, I say Louis Vuitton. I think in French it's
Vuitton or Vuitton?
I think in French it's a French company. I think in French it's Louis Vuitton.
All right, Ben, let me talk to them in Chinese.
Okay.
Ben 刚才问了一个非常有趣的问题哈，就是一些品牌的名字。其实很多同学会把 YouTube 的 Tube 念成 YouTube， 很多台湾朋友啊，还有就是 Skype， 现在已经没有很多人常用了，就会念成 Skype。记得如果一个字母啊，如果以四个字母的字，如果有2个母音的话，我们习惯念成长音，所以那个 TUB 要念成 Tube。也不是说所有的字都这样，还是要注意。第一个字叫 Amazon， 叫亚马逊啊 ，Amazon。
Amazon。
应该第一个应该是 add in Amazon， 第二个是 Yahoo， 再是 YouTuber， 再 Samsung。那个it should be pronounced Samsung right？
Samsung, yes. The is on the end there.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Vuitton 重音在后面 Louis Vuitton， 还有 Costco， 很多台湾朋友会念成 Costco。
Yeah, in English we don't say the long O sound for Costco.
How about IKEA?
Daniel says he likes Versace. He loves Versace more than LV, more than Louis Vuitton.
IKEA or IKEA?
I always thought before I came to Taiwan, IKEA. That's the way I always pronounced it.
IKEA.
But just to pronounce the company names one more time, Amazon, Amazon.
亚马逊 Amazon.
Yahoo,
Yahoo.
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 YouTube,
YouTube.
YouTube.
油管
YouTuber,
YouTuber.
YouTuber.
OK 好。
Samsung,
Samsung.
Samsung. Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. 路易斯威顿，中文路易斯威顿。
And Costco.
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 Right.
Is there a t?
There is a t.
Very subtle.
A very subtle t in Costco. Costco.
I remember I was interested in a coat or shoes. I forgot. And you know, how do you call it?
You're welcome, Ben. Thank you for asking.
Outlet.
Outlet mall, like Gloria Outlet?
Yeah. At first I thought it was on sale, a big sale, but after you read the tag, you told me, oh man, it was 10 times more expensive.
Oh yes. I don't enjoy going to outlet stores in Taiwan as much as in the U.S. because usually the deals are not as good. I guess it's because Taiwan's not a huge market, so they don't send a lot of marked down goods to Taiwan. So usually you end up paying more.
Are you saying that you can get bigger discount in America at
You can, yes. Usually you can get much bigger discounts at outlet stores.
我们在华纳精品城呢，你们看很多折扣，其实美国的折扣会更大啊，所以如果大家到美国，千万不要错过美国的 Outlet， 就是那个像华泰名品城那样的很多名品店在一起。What was the brand that I was looking at?
Oh, I forgot.
It
was an overcoat?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Dunhill?
No. It's menswear. Let me look it up.
I forgot the name.
Armani.
Armani, yes.
Yeah, Armani.
Armani.
What happened that day?
Oh, you were shocked by the tag, even the discount price.
Yeah, I thought it was like 50-something thousand, and he told me that no, I missed a digit.
It's like a month's salary, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, 我看到一件 Armani 的大衣很好看然后就想说打折嘛，哇，应该是5万多块。就 Adam 说你是不是少看一个零啊？我就整个傻眼。
We're not rich. I usually shop at H&M or Gap or someplace like that. I don't usually buy big brands.
Yep.
Like Versace or Armani.
All right, before you get too tired, we can just finish it up. So.
Okay, getting back to our English lesson. If you have any questions, you can leave them during the live stream. The next word is butter dish. Butter dish. A butter dish is just a small rectangular tray that you keep butter on. Usually it has a lid that goes over the butter, but I don't see it in this picture. But a tray for holding the butter is called a butter dish. And we call it a stick of butter. A stick of butter. So butter by itself is uncountable. Alright, the next word is measuring spoons. Measuring spoons. So these have markings on them that tell you how much each spoon holds, like 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon or half a teaspoon or a quarter of a teaspoon. And that's easy for measuring spices. If you're cooking from a recipe, you can just open the spice jar or spice container and put pour some out into the measuring spoon or dip the measuring spoon in and get the right amount of spice to put into your food. Okay, the next word is rolling pin. Rolling pin. A rolling pin is basically a cylinder, a wooden cylinder with handles on the side. And you use it to roll dough. D-O-U-G-H. Dough is a mixture of flour and water.
So what is teaspoon?
Oh, Jason got my measuring spoons from the kitchen. So this one, the size is not so easy to tell on camera. This one is 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. I'm not sure you can see the markings, but it has the markings.
You can compare it with the smaller one, so it's easy to compare.
Okay.
Show them with it.
For comparison, the second largest spoon is the teaspoon. So this is a teaspoon. Teaspoon. This is a tablespoon. The next smallest spoon is called a half. Having trouble reading in the light. Okay. Yeah, I'm old. Half teaspoon.
Half teaspoon.
Half teaspoon. And the smallest one is, if I'm not mistaken, a quarter teaspoon. Yeah. 1/4 teaspoon. So those are all the measuring spoons I have. Okay, so getting back to rolling pin, we put rolling pin on top of dough, and we use it to flatten the dough so we can cut the dough. We often use a rolling pin when we are making American biscuits or British scones. Okay, chopsticks. I think everyone in Taiwan knows what chopsticks are. We don't use them that often in America, just because we've gotten used to using a fork, knife, and a spoon as eating utensils. So, of course, chopsticks are used to pick up and eat the food with. Chopsticks. We use the plural form because there are two sticks. Two separate sticks. Okay, the next word is napkin. Napkin. A napkin is a piece of cloth or thick paper towel that is used to cover your lap or to wipe your mouth with. So if you're going according to proper etiquette or proper rules of eating at the table in Western society, I might be wrong on this, but I think the polite thing to do if you have a cloth napkin on the table is to put the napkin on your lap. Unfold the napkin and put it on your lap. That's what I usually do if I'm in a fine dining restaurant. And you can use the cloth napkin to dab your mouth if you get some food on your mouth.
Ben's question, move on or let's move on or moving on, I think it should be move on because you have to put present tense after that.
Okay, Ben asked a question on YouTube. He said if you were doing a presentation, you finish one topic or one slide and then you want to talk about the next one, we will say let's move on to or moving on. Are there any other expressions? You could use let's move on to or moving on to indicate that you're going on to the next topic.
Okay, let's go next.
Are there other expressions? Yes, and I'm trying to think of them. On the top of my head, I can't think right
next.
You could, well, I wouldn't say go next, because usually we say someone is going next.
Oh, okay.
So you could say next instead of
next.
Moving on or let's move on. You could say next. And really that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there are others. Alright, so napkin, like I said, a napkin can be used to, it can be made of cloth or it can be made of paper. A paper napkin is different from toilet tissue. I know toilet tissue is used in many low-cost restaurants in Taiwan in place of napkins, but they're not the same things. What we consider napkins in America are like the paper napkins that you get at Costco. Those are considered napkins.
So what is the difference between paper napkin and paper towel?
A paper towel is usually used to clean up large or semi-large messes in the kitchen, and
it's rolled up.
And usually a paper towel has bumps on it. It has a rough surface, so it doesn't. Robbie made an interesting comment. I'm not going to repeat.
Robbie said, "I like it messy."
Yeah, I like it messy. Okay, I did repeat it. So yeah, usually a paper towel has a rough surface, and you wouldn't want to use it too much on your face.
And also, I said, can he say, let's jump to next slide or coming up?
Yeah, you could say let's jump to the next slide if you're giving a slideshow or a slide presentation. That's acceptable. Or you could say coming up, but I think coming up is not that common usually is used on TV shows to introduce the next person, the next guest on a TV show. So it would be kind of odd to use coming up on a slide presentation. Robbie said, "Blued is going to be blued." I guess he means that we should expect comments like the one he made earlier on blued. Okay, Durio asked, towels, handkerchief. I guess Durio's asking about the difference between towels and handkerchiefs. The difference is a handkerchief is made from cloth, very thin cloth material. And traditionally a handkerchief is used to dab your eyes if you're crying, to dry your eyes, or to dry your nose if your nose is running. And usually men keep a handkerchief in their suit jacket pocket. In the old days, it was considered chivalrous to offer a handkerchief to a woman if she was crying or if she had a runny nose. So you always had to have extra handkerchiefs.
Okay, let me talk to the viewer first. Blue 上面的朋友们，大家好啊！如果我们的直播有在 Blue 的上面，也有在 YouTube 上面。那我们在 YouTube 上面的设备比较完整哦，你可以看到那个字卡比较清楚。其实我们尽量有调整哦，所以大家如果要看回播或者要看更清楚的影片请到 YouTube 的美国先生后面有一个字卡看得到美国先生。搜寻就可以看得到我们每天直播跟存档如果错过的朋友们，很欢迎上来支持我们谢谢大家。
Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them or comments during the live session. The next item that you might see in a kitchen is an oven glove. Actually, we call it a mitt or oven mitt most of the time.
I think mitt is something a glove without finger, you know.
That's a mitten.
Mitten, mitt, okay.
Well, a mitt or a mitten is basically like a glove, but it doesn't have individual holes for the fingers. So this is called an oven mitt, usually, instead of an oven glove, and is used to hold hot pans or hot dishes.
You can also use it for baseball glove.
Yeah, a baseball glove is also called a baseball mitt, M-I-T-T.
Yeah.
Robbie said, "Sorry, I didn't know you were recording." That's okay. All right.
We are actually not recording though.
Well, I mean, we're live streaming.
这个并不是现在都是直播直播就是你可以直接互动。可是 YouTube 在你直播之后呢，它会自动存档也就是说我们不用特别去录制这样一举两得。OK， 这样 Robbie 了解了吗 ？OK。
It's all right. Don't worry about it. All right. The next kitchen utensil is called a whisk. Whisk. Sometimes also called an egg beater, because that's its main function. It is used to scramble eggs, or
Whisk.
You could say whisk eggs. Whisk is also a verb. Whisk. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask them during the live stream.
I think there's another type of whisk used by monks.
Used by who?
Monk, M-O-N-K.
Really?
Yeah, let me show you. Okay.
I've never heard about that. Ben said, "No way, Jose, suck someone. Beautiful. I heard them from the movies like 10 years ago. Are they correct?" No way, Jose means
Miss. Like, used by monks.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know it was called a whisk.
I think they used to use it to remove the dust.
Okay, he's talking about like a horsehair whip. Well, it's not really a whip, but it's a stick with a tuft of horsehair.
的佛尘 ，OK， 那叫佛尘吗？大家可以纠正我。Okay.
Yeah, whisk. Dario said beat eggs. Whisk means to beat the eggs. Same thing. Okay, getting back to Ben. No way, Jose means it's not going to happen, or I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you spelled Jose correctly. There is a little accent mark over the E, but most English keyboards don't have that. So no way, Jose means it's not going to happen, or I'm not going to do it. Suck someone means to perform oral sex, usually on a man. But if you say someone sucks, that's a different thing. If you say someone sucks, it means they are an asshole, or they are...
Don't use those terms.
Okay, I'm sorry. Asshole is offensive. I shouldn't use that term.
Something is not good on YouTube.
Okay, so if someone sucks, it means they are not a good person, not a friendly, not a nice person. Robbie asked, whisk me away. Yes, if someone whisks someone away, they quickly take someone away. So it also has that meaning, to quickly take someone or something away. You're correct. Okay, getting back to... Ben, he said, suck someone beautiful. Now, I have not heard the term suck someone beautiful, unless you're performing oral sex on a person who is beautiful.
Don't say that again.
Why?
It's YouTube, but you get banned.
We're not broadcasting to children. This is not made for kids. Okay.
Maybe children are watching it too.
Well, they're not supposed to be watching.
Okay.
Their parents should be watching them. Robbie's laughing. Yeah, Robbie pointed out that Blued is 18 plus. YouTube has a kid-friendly section, but I think you have to actually check a box on your stream saying that it is made for kids, which I never do. So it's not made for kids. All right, wooden spoon. A wooden spoon is a large spoon made of wood, and it usually is used to stir sauces, like spaghetti sauce. All right, let's see. The next one is strainer. Oh, Robbie asked, do you want to also teach different color handkerchiefs, different meanings?
Is it the right spelling? Is it VES?
Wow, Robbie, you are as old as me. If you know the different meanings of handkerchiefs, you must...
Oh, yeah, no, oh, and
you must. That is... I thought that was outdated.
San Francisco Pride.
So, yeah, San Francisco Pride. So, in the old days, long before Grindr and Blued and other things, Robbie says they still use it. Well, maybe in a gay mecca like San Francisco, which I've never been to, but I grew up in the woods of Tennessee, and I did not know about that until university. I didn't know about the different handkerchiefs having different meanings for gay men, and I still don't remember the different meanings of the different colored handkerchiefs.
It's the right spelling handkerchief ended with FS or VES.
VES.
It should be VES, right?
I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check.
Because some words that spell as FS.
Right.
As in beliefs.
Some words, the plural forms of some words don't follow the rules.
Yeah, like beliefs.
Ben, don't apologize. It's okay for asking that.
You are the only 10 and
Thank you, Robbie. My partner is right here with me. Just off camera there. Okay, the next one is strainer. Thank you, Robbie, for your thanks. Okay, a strainer is kind of like a colander, but the holes are much smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
And sometimes it's used, I see in Taiwan, it's used to dip fried food out of the hot oil.
I think joiner can also be called sieve.
Sieve. Yeah, sieve.
Sieve.
I think it's SIEVE, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
But
Sieve.
interestingly, I mean, it's spelled IE, but it should be pronounced shovel, which is very rare.
Okay, the next one's funny because the chart says it's called a steak hammer. I've always heard it called a meat tenderizer, and it's not just used for steak. Any meat that you want to make more tender, you can use this this tenderizer. So Robbie said a meat beater. That is a double entendre, Robbie. It has double meaning. So yes, I've mostly heard this called a meat tenderizer, not a steak hammer. Do you know what a double entendre is, Jason?
I don't.
It's basically a word that also has
Double
like
meaning.
a sexual meaning, or
Okay.
you know.
I know.
All right. The next word is spoon.
It's a pun.
Spoon. Spoons are very common. Although I've noticed that in Taiwan, most of the spoons
You mean it's a
kind
pun?
of have squared off sides, and they're deeper than American spoons. Well, in America, we have two different types of spoons. We have, Robbie said he lives for double entendres,
I say it's a UN.
and he asked, am I a big spoon or a little spoon?
Oh, you will never know. Beyond measurement.
Robbie is referring to spooning in bed. So when you spoon in bed, you both lie on your sides, and one person lies behind the other person. The person lying behind is called the big spoon, and the person in front is called the little spoon. If you didn't know what big spoon and little spoon meant. Okay, thank you, Robbie. So yeah, in America there are different types of spoons. There's also what's called a soup spoon, and a soup spoon is rounder and will contain more liquid than a regular spoon. But in Taiwan, the spoons are usually the same shape, and they're all mostly made for soup. Okay, the next word is a spatula. Robbie's writing in Chinese now. I can't read Chinese. Jason will have to translate that.
He said it's just that. Shoot! Oh, my back is killing me.
Okay, while Jason's translating, I'll go on to the next word. Spatula. Spatula. A spatula is usually a flat piece of metal that is slotted. It has slots cut into it, and it's used for turning meat in a frying pan or on a grill.
I think it just says naughty or mischievous.
Oh, you're naughty or mischievous. I kind of figured that out already. So yeah, a spatula is a device used to flip meat, and it's slotted so that the hot grease can drip down through the spatula as you're turning the meat. Spatula.
Oh, big spoon and a little spoon are positions when cuddling. Also
Cuddling in
refer
bed,
the
right.
two as a spooning. The big spoon is the one holding the little spoon from behind.
I thought you knew that.
The little spoon is in front behind there. So, are you big spoon or little spoon? I think I'm the big spoon. And Adam, I like to be holder.
I like to be held.
Yeah.
Okay, the next word, next kitchen utensil is
He said
fork.
they are cute.
Thank you, Robbie. The next word is fork. A fork has things sticking out of the end. These things sticking out of the end are called tines. Tines. Tines.
Time.
Yes, the things sticking out from the end of the fork are called tines.
T what?
Tines.
Time.
Okay, thank you for watching Jason Adam TV. If you have any questions, let me know, or comments. Alright, the next word is kitchen shears. I see these often in Taiwan. Kitchen shears are scissors that are usually used for cutting meat, but they can be used for other things too. Kitchen shears.
Shear mean big scissors.
Yeah, a big pair of scissors. You can also use shears in sewing for cutting fabric. Fabric shears.
Shears.
Okay, and of course, I think most people know knife. There are many different kinds of knives, but I'm not going to get into that today.
Like cleaver.
Yeah, cleaver. Cleaver is used for cutting
Meat.
large pieces of meat that are still connected to the animal.
Traditional Taiwan Chinese knife. You know.
A cleaver is usually used to cut like a whole animal or a large piece of an
这是
animal.
我们的菜刀啦，刀柄比较大。
Cleaver, cleaver. So cleaver is kind of like a type of knife. Durio said like an axe, but an axe is different. It has a different purpose. An axe has a blade, but it's usually used to chop things like trees. So axe has a different purpose from cleaver or knife. Ladle. Ladle. A ladle is kind of like a cup that is attached to a handle. We use a ladle to dip soup or stew from a pot or a bowl and serve it to people. So a ladle is used to serve things like stew or soup to people.
If Ben asked侧卧, I think you just lie on your side. Right?
I don't know the Chinese.
Lie on your side, like when you sleep this way, you say lie.
Oh, if you're spooning, yeah, it would be lying on your side.
如果你是趴着睡, you can say you lie on your stomach.
I'm sorry, Ben.
Lie on your back.
I'll have to defer to Jason on this one because I can't read Chinese.
Yeah, but he left some English message.
Okay, he asked lie upwards. I've never heard lie upwards.
Wait, what does supine mean?
Let's see. Prone means face down. Supine means on your back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if
no, yeah, on your back, lying face upward.
So you could say lie face up.
No, commonly we just say lie on your back.
Yeah.
Lie on your stomach.
Jason's
lie on
right.
your side.
Jason's right. Most of the time we would say lie on your back, or you could say supine.
Supine is some kind of outward to me.
We would not say lie backwards. You could say lie face down or lie prone. Prone. Prone means face down. We would not say lie sideways. You could say lie sideways. And you could also say lie on one's side. Or if you're talking about a thing, you could say lie on its side. Or an animal. Hope that answered your question. Galang said hello. I think you mean hello, Hello, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for saying hi. If you have any comments or questions during the live stream, please leave them and I'll try to answer them. I'm giving an English lesson, and right now I'm teaching words related to the kitchen. Okay, the next word is something we just talked about before, and that is cleaver. A cleaver is a large knife with a rectangular shaped blade, and it's heavy and very sharp. Usually is used for cutting limbs from animals or cutting large pieces of meat from an animal. Cleaver. In scary movies, the bad guy often uses a cleaver to chop people into pieces, or an axe.
Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, Friday the 13th. There are many different scary movies where you see a cleaver. Okay, and the next word is, let me get it centered. The next word is mesh skimmer. Mesh skimmer. Usually is used to dip things out of a liquid, like a soup or a stew. Like, for example, if you put...
It's called residue, right? Residue.
Residue.
There are some form.
Are you talking about like the fat on top, the layer of fat?
No, when you cook some soup, there's some residue or skim.
Yeah, a layer on top of fat from the meat.
Usually they are not healthy.
No, mesh skimmer, the holes are too big to skim the fat from a soup. A mesh skimmer is used to take something out of a liquid. Like if you put something in to season the soup, but you don't want to eat it, you can use the mesh skimmer to dip it out of the soup or the stew. Also, you could use it for the opposite thing. Like sometimes we boil vegetables in stock. Stock is the liquid that's used to cook meat or other vegetables, and it has flavor to it. So there are many different types of stock, like beef stock, mushroom stock, chicken stock. And sometimes we don't, in the US, we don't want to drink the stock. I know in Taiwan it's popular to drink the stock that the food cooks in, but we don't often do that in Western society or in America. So we can use the mesh skimmer to dip out the vegetables from the stock. And the vegetables will have the flavor of the stock, but we won't drink the stock. So that's what a mesh skimmer is used for. Okay, the next word is cutlery. Cutlery is just a general term for knives, table knives, forks, and spoons. The difference between a table knife and another knife, a cutting knife, is that a table knife is usually rather dull. There are different types of table knives, though. There's a knife with a serrated edge, and that's used for cutting steak. It's called a steak knife.
How do you spell serrated?
Serrated, S-E-R-R-A-T-E-D, serrated.
Oh, okay. 锯齿状的 ，OK， 叫 serrated.
A steak knife is serrated.
锯齿状.
There's also butter knife. Butter knife is used for spreading butter on bread or toast, usually. In fork, the only two types of forks I know are the smaller fork, which is called a salad fork, and a regular fork. And then the spoons I talked about before, there's a soup spoon and a regular spoon. Cutlery. So all of these together are called cutlery. Okay, next, corkscrew. Corkscrew. A corkscrew is a device that is used to pull the cork out of a bottle of wine. Corkscrew. And here's another interesting note. In America, we only call the alcoholic beverage that's made from grapes or other berries, wine. If it's very strong alcohol like whiskey, we do not call it wine.
We call it liquor.
We call it liquor, right. So there's a big difference between wine and liquor. So if you tell someone in America...
Let me explain to them.
Okay.
Wine is also called fermented juice with less proportion of alcohol.
That's the main thing. Lots of...
If you put you distill wine, okay, and it will become like a stronger liquor, okay, called distilled wine, or this, or you just call it liquor or dry, okay, or something like that, okay.
If you ask an American, would you like to drink wine with me, and you pull out a bottle of liquor, they probably will be shocked, especially if they're not a big drinker, because they're expecting something that has a lower...
If you ask someone if you
lower
want to drink
alcohol
some wine,
content.
especially a female person, and instead you show them a liquor.
They'll be afraid.
Yeah, but
Because-
most Chinese people tend to misuse them though.
Because when you say wine in Western culture, they're thinking about something with a much lower alcohol content,
Yeah, be very careful with that.
like grape wine, a fermented drink made from grapes. Okay, so corkscrews are used to open wine bottles. Cake slicer, they left off the R. This is a cake slicer. So a cake slicer is used to divide cakes into pieces. And it's also used to serve a slice of cake. Cake slicer. Alright, the next word is saucepan. In the UK. In America, we call it a pot. So, saucepan in the UK, pot in the US. We do use, I have heard the term used, this term saucepan used in America before, but usually we use it to refer to a smaller pot that's used to cook an amount of sauce in. But if it's bigger, we call it a pot. Notice it has a handle on the side and a lid to keep the liquid inside from splattering. Okay, and frying pan. So in America, we don't usually use woks. A wok is like a frying pan, but it's got a rounded bottom and it's much deeper. Fried rice is cooked very quickly, and so it has to be constantly moved around the wok. In a frying pan, that's a bit harder because the sides are shallower, and if you moved stuff around in a frying pan like you did in a wok, then it would scatter all over the place and you make a huge mess. So an observation I've made is that in the US, in my experience, we tend to cook with lower heat on the stove. And when I've been in restaurants, sometimes I've noticed the egg will be very overdone sometimes, especially in breakfast restaurants, you know, the cheap restaurants where you buy breakfast. The egg will be cooked to death. So usually when we cook eggs in America, we start out on medium heat. We don't turn the heat up on high to cook. It takes a little longer, but the egg tastes much better and less dry.
And much tender.
Yeah. Okay, next is plate. A plate is a flat dish. Usually it's round, but it can also be in other shapes. And is used to serve food on. It's not used to serve foods with lots of liquid because it's flat, so the liquid will run off the sides. Okay, we did that one. Let's see. Okay, the next one is pressure cooker. There's been a fad recently of people buying electronic pressure cookers that have buttons on the side, and you can just push a button, put something in, lock the lid, push the button, and it will automatically cook for a certain amount of time, and it will beep and turn off the power when it's finished. So a pressure cooker is like a cooker, which we'll see next. It's a big pot with a lid and two handles, one on either side. But the special thing about a pressure cooker is the lid locks in place. So steam and air pressure build up inside, and the food cooks more quickly. You have to be very careful with a pressure cooker, because if the safety valve is stuck, the pressure cooker can explode like a bomb. So you have to make sure that your safety valve is not clogged, and always keep a good distance from a pressure cooker while it's under pressure, because it could explode. It's not common, but it has happened before. So pressure cooker drastically reduces the cooking time. A cooker is a pot, a large pot with handles on both sides and a lid, but it does not create a lot of pressure inside. The lid helps trap the heat inside, so the food cooks more evenly. But usually a cooker cooks slowly. It's used to cook something slowly, like a stew, for a long period of time. Alright, and finally, casserole dish. A casserole dish can be round or rectangular. It can be made from metal or ceramics. But a casserole dish has to be oven safe. That's because a casserole is baked in an oven. And
casserole just mean stew the food.
Well, usually it's baked. My mom made potato casserole all the time.
Homemade casserole.
And it's kind of like a mixture of a stew, but it has a baked crust on the top, which is really yummy. You get that caramelization of the casserole on top. So on the
At first I mistook casserole as a carousel.
No, not carousel.
Yeah, casserole.
So basically, in a casserole, they mix. It's kind of like a stew, but they put big chunks of vegetables or big chunks of meat inside, and they mix them together, and then
you can actually open Firefox, okay, and show them the dish.
Okay.
Did you see the icon on the left lower?
I opened Firefox, but it's still in Chinese mode.
You can search in the searching bar.
I just opened
Just
the browser.
Shift, then you can change it.
Okay. I got caps lock on. That's okay. Okay, so if you're watching on Jason Adam TV YouTube, you can easily see what a casserole is.
Image.
A lot of times we sprinkle cheese on top of a casserole or breadcrumbs because it forms a really nice crust on top. So it's almost like eating a pie, but it's a savory type of pie. It has savory elements like cheese. Sometimes we put noodles in casseroles. Sometimes we put meat. Sometimes we put rice. Sometimes we put veggies. And sometimes we mix them all together to make a casserole. All right, getting back to the image,
You can just
casserole dish. So that's what we put casserole mixture into and bake it in an oven. Casserole dish. My mom's casserole dishes were mostly made of heat-resistant glass, and they were in the shape of a rectangle. But if you go to a church dinner in the U.S., you will see tons of casseroles. There will be many of them.
Yeah, I remember when your parents had the funeral ceremony, they brought different casserole.
It's easy to make and it's yummy. So that's why a lot of Americans, every American house has an oven. So it's easy to make a casserole because basically you just chop up the ingredients, mix them together, and pour them into a casserole dish and put them in the oven for a certain amount of time and they're done. So very simple and easy to make. All right, it's about time to wrap up. Wow, I went a lot longer. I went about an hour longer than I usually do. If you've been watching, thank you for watching Jason Adam TV on Blued, Jason Adam TV on YouTube, and American Teacher on YouTube. We will try to be online tomorrow evening around 5:30 or 6 p.m. With an English lesson, another English lesson. So please tune in and watch our English lesson and leave comments for us.
Yeah, we try to teach different type of topic. Okay.
Yeah, we try to change the topic.
Discussion of grammar usage, or it can be like a very basic classic like tonight. Alright， 很欢迎线上的朋友，每天傍晚不一定时间哈，大概我们一般都是5点到6点，那有时候会晚一点然后就是晚上请锁定我们的频道，然后共襄盛举，欢迎大家参与发问，然后可以讨论任何英文问题，或者是对我们有任何问题都可以对我们有兴趣的朋友们可以跟我们聊天也好你可以聊中文或英文的问题都 OK， 或者是一些分享那很高兴再度跟大家见面，希望大家有个美好的一晚，拜拜，
拜拜。
Yeah, you went too long. I'm thinking, wow. It's fun, right?
Yeah.